Hi guys, oh my god, it's been a while since I did an update on my nursing journey. For those who don't know me, I am Louise. I started my nursing journey back in 2014 as an accelerated nursing student. When I started this journey, there wasn't that many resources out there for accelerated nursing programs, especially an 11-month. Most accelerated nursing programs were about 2 years or one like 16 months. The one that I did at Drexel was about 11 months, and because there was very little information advice out there, I started my YouTube channel about accelerated nursing programs to kind of give you guys an inside scoop on how my program was going and ways on how I survived. So that was about 5 years ago when I graduated, and I've been working as a nurse ever since. 3 years ago, I decided to go back to school to get my doctorate in nurse practitioner as a doctor of nursing and get licensed as a nurse practitioner. I just graduated May. What's it? November now. I graduated May, and I started my new job as a nurse practitioner in June. So I kind of want to give you guys. So this video is pretty much about my new journey as a nurse practitioner, because you guys knew me when I was this baby nurse. Now I'm a nurse practitioner. So here we go. So I actually passed my boards back in February. Even though graduation was until May, I passed boards in February, because you can actually sit for boards before you graduate as long as you've taken all your clinical courses. And for me, I did finish all my clinical courses in December of 2020. The only thing left for me for graduation was pretty much the doctoral aspect of my program, which was not required for me to sit for boards. So I studied for about 2 weeks, like really intense, like every single day, doing like 100 to 300 questions a day. And then I just signed up for my test, and I'm like, you know what's the worst that can happen? I fail, and I just have to pay another $200 something to take it again. So I went in there pretty confident. Well, not confident, but I was nervous. But I studied so much. I'm like, if I don't know anything by now, it's not going to stick. I would have to start over. So I did pass on my first try. Thank God. It was very nerve-wracking. But if you do study for the test, you'll be very much prepared for it. If you guys want more information how I studied, I can do another video on that. But anyways, passed boards in February, and I started applying for jobs even though I hadn't graduated yet or had a license yet, because I heard that it takes about 6 months to 1 year for new grads as a nurse practitioner to find a job. And so I give myself like a little timeline, like, I want to find a job in 6 months. Meanwhile, I was still working at the hospital in the ICU as a regular nurse, which didn't mind. Like, I still had income coming in, so I wasn't really too stressed about it. I went over my resume, because the last time I did my resume was actually when I got a job as a nurse. So I have not applied for any other job since then. So my resume haven't been updated since. So I pretty much, once I passed and then I could put that stuff behind me, I went on, updated my resume, put on my degree, graduation day, and anything else that I've done as a nurse on it. And then I pretty much just threw it out there into Indeed.com and just started applying for jobs, even the ones that I didn't qualify for. I'm like, you know what, they're gonna say no, but I won't know till I try. Some places are willing to train new grads, and other places are not. So I pretty much just apply for anything that said nurse practitioner, pretty much, even if I did not have the required experiences. I did get a couple phone calls back, but a lot of them were like, oh, you haven't graduated yet, we only looking for some 2 years or more. I honestly really wanted to stay within the health network that I was working in as a nurse already, but when I graduated, they didn't really have any positions available, and I'm pretty sure if I had waited, I would have gotten a job there, but I didn't want to sit around waiting for them to decide. I even emailed the managers. My preceptor wrote me awesome letters because they work there and I work there, so I thought it would be easy, but guess not. So I went on a couple interviews. One actually turned down because they were trying to really, really lowball me. And I mean, like, I wanted a job, but I wasn't trying to make less than what I make now as a nurse. And like, I know sometimes you do have to, take a little pay cut so you can get the experience. But I was like, nah, that was not for me. It was way too low. And I felt like I would be disrespecting nurse practitioners and if I took that job. So I said no to that one. And then it was a couple months before I got another interview to where I'm actually currently working now. So between passings, like I said, I passed in February, got licensed in June, and then I started my new job in June. So February, March, April, May, June. So it took me about 4 months from passing boards till actually starting work. So actually my first job now where I'm working now is I'm actually in a outpatient cardiology office, mostly a lot of interventional cardiology. When I first began, I didn't really think I wanted to specialize yet. Like I said, my license is in adult gerontology, so I love old people. So I was willing to go to nursing homes, do home care visits, all of that stuff. Anything that deals with older people, that was what I loved. So I thought maybe down the road I would eventually specialize, but I didn't think I would actually find a job very specialized position as a new grad, but somebody was willing to give me a chance. They loved my resume. They loved that I was like very attentive and communicating with them. So they brought me in for it. We did a phone interview for like 2 minutes. He's like, oh, can you come in? It was like really last minute. So I came in and he was really, my now boss was very surprised that I actually like dropped everything pretty much to come to this interview. So he was very impressed about it because he said he had 3 other candidates and nobody responded back to him. And I was the only one that showed up. So I was like, huh. So then he didn't really like do like an actual interview. He just like went over what the position entails. He's like, he was looking for somebody who's very more independent. He doesn't really want to spend too much time training, somebody for too long, because he's really busy, and the clinic is busy. He doesn't want to have to micromanage, and I seem to be the type of person that he wants, somebody who's very attentive and very good with communication. So he pretty much offered me the job on the spot. He wanted me to like start the next day, and I was like, no, I can't. I still work at the hospital. I have to, give my 2 weeks notice and everything. So I was very, very, very thankful that he was willing to take a chance on me, because it's very hard out there for new grads to find a job. So if you're one of a new grad, either whether you're a nurse or a nurse practitioner, please don't give up. You will find the right position for you, and don't settle. Don't let anybody walk over you. Okay. So my first day was in June. I was so nervous the weekend before that. I literally like did my 2 week notice at the hospital, and then the next morning I was like working as a nurse practitioner. It was crazy. And I was so worried my license wouldn't get there in time and I would have to be delayed. But luckily Pennsylvania was on top of it. So yay, Pennsylvania, for getting my license to me in time before I started. First day was a little bit hectic. It was a whole new EMR system. I've been used to Epic for the last 5 years. So then this is like a whole new system I've never even heard of before. So it didn't take me long to pick up. My boss kind of oriented me the first day, showed me with a couple of patients, and then I was pretty much on my own. Because it's a cardiology, I was very nervous because other than being a med surg and ICU nurse, I've never had like a real cardiology experience. Like here I would float to this cardiac ICU here and there, but it wasn't my unit. My unit was trauma ICU and surgical ICU. So I wouldn't really count those CICU experience as like real experience. But like, I'm like, how hard can it be? It's cardiology. We all listen to hearts every day. It's part of my nursing jobs. I read EKG strips as part of my nursing job. So I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Boy, was I so much more to cardiology than just listening to hearts and reading EKGs. Okay, let me tell you. It was definitely difficult my first few days. The first 2 days was I don't even know how to explain it. It was just so much to learn. There were just so many different EKGs, they're like ECGs, like the 12 leads that I was like still getting used to. I'm trying to like read them fast enough. Didn't want to miss anything. Felt like I was like calling my boss every 2 minutes because I'm like, I want to make sure I was doing things right. I wanted to be safe. So, and I think I had like 25 patients of my schedule. It wasn't even my schedule, it was my boss's schedule. I was just training that day, but he still wanted me to, get on there and keep, and see patients right away. So I was, he was supervising me. So I was seeing patients by myself. But obviously I was moving really, really slow because this is like a whole new, like literally my first job. Being a nurse and being a nurse practitioner are two different things. But luckily he was there to help me when I needed it. So that was okay. Yeah, but the first day I thought I was going to cry after that. Like, I'm pretty sure I cried because I called one of my girlfriends who actually works with me now. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what the heck I've gotten myself into. I feel like I did everything wrong. I didn't chart correctly. But anyways, at the end of the day, I had like sent all the patients that I saw to my boss, and he went over my charting and double checked, and I guess everything was okay because he didn't yell at me the next day. But yeah, first day was definitely hectic. I think 2 of my patients actually left because I was taking so long. And, realistically, like when you become a nurse practitioner and you have to see patients, you're seeing patients, like they put your schedule, it's like 15 minutes for each patient. It doesn't even matter if they're new or if they're established, it's 15 minutes. And there is no way I could, and as a new NP, it was taking me longer than 15 minutes to talk to, because I got into the habit of, because as a nurse, we're always educating, trying to take our time to explain why they're taking this medicine, but when you become an NP, you don't really have time for all of this stuff, and we should do all of this stuff, but it just you would never go home. You'll be there till 8:00. So I know I had to pick up my time management, a little bit better. But I figure, it's my first 2 days. I hope they're not expecting me to see 31 patients by myself on my first day and not be more than 15 minutes, especially when I'm learning a new charting system. But everybody was very supportive. Honestly, the patient interaction stuff was easy because I was used to talking to patients as a nurse. It was really just the charting, trying to figure out this new system. But luckily, I still, believe it or not, I still got out on time. I'm hired from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I think I left at 5:30. So it wasn't bad at all for somebody on my first day by myself, and I was seeing the patients by myself, and my boss was just reviewing my notes and everything. But yeah, so my second day was a little bit better because I had another nurse practitioner there with me who's had way more experience than I did. And we were seeing patients together. So that made things a lot smoother. And obviously, I worked out some of the kinks that I didn't know the first day. So second day was so much better. And now I've been there for it's going almost 6 months. It will be 6 months in December. I thought I wanted to just take this job just to get experience, but I'm actually really loving this. I didn't think cardiology, I've never had any cardiology, so I never thought I really would like it, but I'm learning so much. Every day it's something different. And even before I started, because I knew it was a cardiology office, I read up a lot on the most common chronic cardiac issues like heart failure, hypertension, AFib, ventricular hypertrophy, all of those things. One thing that I'm still not familiar with is pacemakers and ICDs. Not I don't know what they are, but interrogating the devices and analyzing the report and all of that stuff. That's not something we really learned in NP school because we were more trained, generalized practitioners. So. But that's going to come with experience, my boss told me, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so my first 4 months have been great. Like I said, it did get easier as time goes by, so don't be afraid. You're going to feel like you don't know anything, but trust me, you know way more than you think you know. I didn't give myself enough credit for how much I actually knew before I went in. But there's always going to be something you don't know, and you just got to make sure you have the right resources around to be able to provide a safe patient care. The next thing, so with RN, and so people ask me do I like my schedule better as an NP versus a nurse? My schedule, I work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No weekends, no holidays. I rarely ever, like I said, other than my first day, I never really left work that late. I left at 5:30. That's with after charting everything, answering phone calls, doing refills, all of those shenanigans. I still leave on time. I don't think I've ever left work late. I get home late because of traffic, but I'm out of the office by 4:30 most of the days. And on Fridays, I usually get out early. I'm not on call during the weekends. I'm not on call any other time. And I'm off on my holidays. So I definitely love that aspect of it. When you work at the hospital, you got to work some holidays. You got to work almost of some weekends. It was just really hectic. It was really hard to get off work just to spend time with your family. I felt like I was missing out so much as a nurse. And this, even though my pay is not like that great, it's still better than what I was making as a nurse, but my quality of life, I feel like, has definitely improved. I have more time to work on myself. I'm not sleeping all day, working night shift. I actually can do normal people stuff. So that is the best part. So that's really my experience as a new nurse practitioner, especially in a specialized field. I don't know how it would have been if it's general, because my boss did tell me I might rotate to internal medicine and see family medicine patients, but I haven't gotten a chance to do that. I've been pretty much doing cardiology 100% of the time since I've been here. So I'm very thankful for God for providing me with this wonderful opportunity to go into a specialty even as a new grad, because most of the time it's very hard for new grads to get into specialties like these. So I'm very thankful for that. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. All right, guys, have a good Thanksgiving and try to stay safe during this pandemic. All right, bye-bye.